Dating happens to be one of those modern institutions that did not come with a very clear biblical syllabus, yet somehow everyone shows up to the exam expecting marks without group work. The Bible doesn't talk about dating apps. The Bible doesn't talk about situationships. The Bible doesn't talk about soft launches. But the Bible gives strong principles that, if applied, will have saved many people from emotional heartache and unnecessary fasting over unnecessary heartbreaks. I want us to unpack dating using scripture and some bit of wisdom. Now, the first thing you must do if you're going to date according to scripture, you must focus on purpose. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, that above all else, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. You see, the Bible treats the heart like a national treasury, not a public playground. Yet modern dating often treats the heart like a free Wi-Fi zone. Everyone connects, nobody's accountable, and the bandwidth is always unstable. Dating without purpose is like entering a matatu without knowing the destination. Everyone is shouting in the matatu, "We are going to town," but nobody knows which town. Nobody knows when or why they're even stopping in Rongai at around 11 p.m. The biblical principle that you must remember is that you must know exactly where the relationship is going before you even start investing in the relationship emotionally. The second thing you must do, you must focus on character over chemistry. The Bible tells us in 1 Samuel chapter number 16, verse 7, that man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Don't get me wrong, chemistry is very powerful, but so is sugar. Too much of it causes serious health problems. Many people today choose partners like shopping for clothes. They go for what looks good on them without checking whether it shrinks after the washing trials of life. You see, dating someone with bad character is like buying a beautiful phone with no battery. It looks amazing until you try to use it in real life. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30, that favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord shall be greatly praised. The biblical principle you must always remember is that attraction is temporary, but character is structural. The third thing you must do, you must focus on emotional discipline. Do not build on feelings alone. The Bible tells us in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, that the heart is deceitful above all things. The Bible warns that your feelings are not always reliable witnesses. They can hype someone on Monday and file for emotional bankruptcy by Friday. If feelings were GPS, many relationships will end up in the ocean. They will end up nowhere. The biblical principle you must always remember is that yes, feelings are valid, but they are not the final authority. The fourth thing you must do, you must focus on boundaries. And this is one of those forgotten commandments in this age and time. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse number 18, And I'm not going to quote this verse exactly, but the verse calls for honoring God with your body. You see, boundaries in dating are like fences on farmland. Without the fences, everything becomes a grazing field for confusion, a grazing field for misunderstanding, and a grazing field for uncertainty. Many people say, we are just talking, and yet the conversation has already graduated into emotional cohabitation. You see, no one puts a no entry sign in a house and still wonders why strangers are sleeping on the couch. The biblical principle you must always remember is that love without boundaries quickly becomes regret with memories. The fifth thing you must do, you must focus on unequal yokes. In other words, compatibility matters. The Bible tells us in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, that do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. You see, a yoke joins two animals to pull in the same direction. If one is going toward purpose and the other is going towards vibes, the other is going towards feelings, the other is going towards sensation only, the cart goes nowhere. Emotional friction and dust becomes the order of the day. It is like pairing a tractor with a bicycle and expecting the two to finish plowing a farm effectively and efficiently. The biblical principle you must always remember is that compatibility is not just romance. Compatibility is direction. The sixth thing you must do, you must focus on the fruit test. Do not ignore the patterns. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 7, verse 16, that by their fruit you'll recognize them. You see, people really change in dating. People reveal patterns in dating. If someone has a consistent track record of dishonesty, if someone has a consistent track record of inconsistency, if someone has a consistent track record of emotional chaos, please don't call it potential. That is not prophecy. That is denial with hope. If a mango tree keeps producing lemons, stop calling it seasonal adjustment. The biblical principle you must always remember is that behavior is prophecy of future consistency. The seventh thing you must do, you must focus on timing. You see, not every season in your life is a season for relationships. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, that to everything there is a season. Some people enter relationships while they are emotionally broke. They enter relationship while they are spiritually confused. They enter relationship while they are still praying for financial miracles. Then they wonder why everything collapses. You see, you cannot plant maize in the middle of a drought and blame the soil for being emotionally unavailable. The biblical principle you must always remember is that timing is as important as choice. The bottom line is, dating, when done biblically, is not chaos. It is discernment with structure. It is not just attraction, but alignment. It is not just feelings, but foundation. It is not just connection, but covenant direction. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, that trust God in all your ways, and He will direct your path. If you put your trust in God, God is going to direct every path in your life, including the romantic paths in your life. But if you refuse to put your trust in God and ignore biblical principles when it comes to dating, You don't just learn lessons, you enroll in a very expensive, emotional university where the tuition is tears, exams are heartbreaks, and graduation is usually, I should have listened. May God bless you, and remember to follow this channel and to subscribe for more.